Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana, and today is Casing Tuesday. I'm going to just talk for a couple minutes while I wait for everyone to get on here. I had tried to schedule it for 10 a.m. and I hit the send button a little too early, and I actually scheduled it for 10:07, and uh, I realized I could go live early at 10 o'clock, so I tried to pop on a little at my originally scheduled time. It's hard to sometimes take things back. You hit the send button and you realize, oh, things aren't quite right. So then you have to kind of like decide, do I cancel it, reset it up? Anyway, I'm here and I'm so glad you're here with me this morning. I have good news on my parents' front. My mom came home from the hospital on Sunday night. So she's finally home and recovering. She's still very weak, but I'm just glad that she's home. I think she's going to recover better at home. My dad's still in the hospital, and he'll probably be in the hospital another couple of weeks. He needs to get some muscle strength back because he's been in bed for longer and he has more difficulties. My mom and I are a lot alike in that we are both very we love walking, and we have done so. I've walked a lot for many years, and she has done the same. And so for her, like she's I mean, she's probably not walking what she normally does right now, but she's up and moving about as much as she feels she's able to, which is probably what I would do. I think if I ever landed in the hospital, I like my body wouldn't know what to do, because like I walk like every single day, and I fear what my body would do if it didn't walk. Like I really like I and maybe I don't take it to an extreme, but I really, even if I'm sick, if I have a cold or a flu or something, I still walk. It might not be quite as far or for as long, but I walk every day. I'm just that crazy nutty about it. It keeps me sane, I think. Are any of you really big walkers? I don't know. I just it's huge for me. All right, let me have a look. A lot of you popped on here. Hello. Um, oh, Someone said that Karen said she's only on here for a little while. She's having a cataract removed. Well, I'm sure you know this, Karen, but those when people get their cataracts removed, they fix your eyesight, don't they, at the same time? So usually it's a good thing. So good luck. I hope everything goes really well. Good morning, everyone. So good to see you. There's a lot of hot days. I've been hearing from people. We're really hot here. My family back in British Columbia, they're very hot. My son, I didn't check the temperature where he's at. They're kind of the same as here. Everyone's really hot right now. So stay cool. Stay out of the sun. Avoid the heat. Don't get heat stroke. So anyway, thank you for all the good wishes for my parents. It's a relief that my mom is out of the hospital, and I don't really know if they figured out exactly what was wrong with her. I think probably like exhaustion from taking care of my dad. It's a lot. Anyway, let's get to the card today. I love today's card. I love today's sketch. I think it's a very doable sketch for many people. So let me show you the card. This is out of the catalog, the annual catalog on page 92. And so you can see in the background of this card, there are some different little panels. What they did there is they took the stitch rectangle framelets and they kind of cut them up and they kind of tuck them behind there. I don't know if you can see that very well, but they just kind of cut them up and kind of just tuck them behind in different spots. I didn't do that on my card, nor did we. Let me show you the sketch. We didn't really include that in the sketch because if you look closely, it is very tone on tone. You see right there, those little rectangles in the background. So I would focus more on the circle and that piece that's coming across because that is really what what really is the focal point of the sketch. This is such a doable sketch. It's so easy. Anyone can do it. You know, a rectangle and a circle. Very, very easy sketch, and I love it. Oh, right. So let me switch over my camera and show you what I did. So I used the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle, which I just got this week, by the way. I know I was a holdout. I saw it and it was beautiful, but you know, I've had lots of sunflowers in the past. We just had one, I think, that retired. And I was just like, wanted to do something new. But now I can see now we're getting closer to fall. Now I want the sunflowers. So I have to show you this is the stamped flower and it's cut out. I'm going to show you two different other ways that you could do the sunflower, but I just love it. It was just very easy to put this card together. I don't know if you can see, I used two embossing folders to provide some texture to the back of this card without taking away from my sunflower. So that was pretty easy to do. Okay, so then I use the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle and the stamp set. I really feel like you probably want to get both of these together. You could get the die set independently and use it and it would work, but this die right here matches the sunflower. This is not to scale right here on the outside, but it matches the sunflower. And this die here matches this one. And this die here matches this one. Of course, they're not to the right size or scale. And then this one matches this one. So there are dies that cut out all of these images. So it's kind of neat if you have both. When you buy them together as a bundle, then you can save 10%. So let me skip over here. And let's start the card. I think the best way to start the card is by stamping the sunflower. And so I'm just going to use, this is about a 3.5 inch by 3.5 piece of Bumblebee cardstock. That's one of our new ink colors. And I'm only using one ink color today. One ink color on this entire card, but there's a lot of color because I'm using cardstock to create my color, not coloring. Okay. So I'm just going to use the sunflower here. I'm going to ink it up. Make sure it's really nice and juicy because you definitely want to see those lines really well. And then just stamp it right in the middle of your piece. Okay, isn't that beautiful? So that's going to provide all that yellow color so you don't have to use any markers or anything like that. I'm going to leave my ink pad out because I'll need it in a moment. So then what you're going to do is you'll take this die right here and you'll match it up. There's one that sticks out the most here and there's one that sticks out the most on the stamped image. So you just kind of just line that up and then you run it through your die cutting machine. I'm really excited about die cutting machines because next week, as a demonstrator, I'm going to be able to pre-order our new die cutting machine, and I'm so excited about that. And customers will be able to get that die cutting machine in September, but I'll be able to pre-order it and demonstrate with it to show you how cool it is. So I'm looking forward to that. Right now I would run this through my die cutting machine that I have. We don't sell one. We won't sell one until September. So I'll run that through. And then this is what you would get, the sunflower right here. Now, the only thing I colored on the sunflower or on the entire card is this flower center because I feel like it needs to be a little darker. So I took my soft suede light Stampin' Blend and I just used the brush tip and I just brushed this on to the center. Now I use the side of my brush so I don't break down the tip. I love how blends looks on light colored cardstock. It just works really well. And we stamped with early espresso ink, right? And that's a correct type of ink. You want to use an ink that is not waterproof for this, for Stampin' Blends, so it's just perfect. And you can just, I'm going to edge the outside a little bit. All right, look at that. That was so easy. So there are different ways to do this sunflower, and I just wanted to show you a couple of different ways. So if you want to color this entire sunflower, then you can stamp it on Whisper White like this. And then you can color it. Again, I use soft suede for the center because it's on white, it looks a little lighter. And then I use Daffodil Delight Dark for the petals. So that gives you a slightly different look. You can see a little bit more detail. And when you die cut it, you'll also see it has like a little bit of a white edge around it. So those are two kind of different looks from the same stamped image. In a moment, we're going to do the leaves. Maybe I'll pull these out again with the leaves, but this is the other option for the sunflower that you could do. So this is just using die cut shapes, no stamping at all. Bumblebee cardstock in the background and early espresso cardstock. I cut the flower, and then there's this little centerpiece that covers up the hole in the center. So I use this one right here, and that cut the detail in early espresso, and then I use this one right here for the center to cover up that kind of donut hole in the center you see right there. So that is how I did a couple of different ways. So next, if you want to go ahead and stamp the leaves, this is the leaf I used, and I'm just going to ink that up and stamp it on Granny Apple Green cardstock. And I would need 3 of these. So just, you would go ahead and stamp 3. And then you would run them through the die cutting machine with the little leaf. And then I've got these leaves right here that will match this image. Okay. And then for this one, see how I did this on Whisper White, and I colored with Granny Apple Green Dark. So this is how the sunflower would look. And then for the other sunflower, I use Garden Green for the detail and Granny Apple Green for the background. So this is how that one would look. So we've got the one I'm going to use right here, and then the die cut one, and then the one I did on Whisper White, just for a little difference, just so you can see how you could do them a little differently. Okay, so I'm building my little arsenal of things I need. Then I have a piece of Sahara sand. It's 5.5 by 1.5, and I'm going to take this little greeting, which fit nicely on here. It says, "Know that you are loved." Great little greeting. And I'll just stamp that right kind of towards the end and a little bit down towards the bottom, because I want to tie some twine. It's braided linen thread, I think it's called. And so then what I did after I stamped this, I ran it through with an embossing folder. I just want to show you. I ran it through with a Tasteful Textile embossing folder. So just run it, put it in here like this, and then you need to run it through your die cut machine, and then this is what it looks like. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of texture there on the background. And then the other thing I did was I ran through with my subtle embossing folder, I ran through a piece of not Bashful Blue. This is, oh my gosh, I need to figure out what color blue this is. It is Balmy Blue. Balmy Blue cardstock. This is 5.5 by 4.25. Just ran it through with the subtle embossing folder. And so now it's kind of got like a linen type texture to it. So it's just very, very, very subtle, but it's just nice to have 2 subtle textures that I'm going to layer together. Then I have my card base, which is also Balmy Blue, 8.5 by 5.5, scored in half at 4.25. And then I'm going to take my Tombow and I'm going to start assembling this card. There is one trick I want to show you with the linen thread that I kind of just learned last night, because I love the braided linen thread, but it's very bulky. So I'm going to show you a little trick with that. So I'm just going to add this to my card front here. And then I'm going to add this piece. This one will be about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Okay. And then I want to add some braided linen thread. So how do I do that? So I'll take my threads. You can see it right here. When you tie a bow with this thread, and it's a little bulky, that knot in the center gets a little bulky. So there is a little trick. So I'm just going to kind of lay this out here and see how much thread I would need, or ribbon, so that I'll have enough to tie. Okay, so that should be enough. And then how do I get it so it's not quite as bulky? So I'm going to take one of the ends and just kind of separate out the little threads. And I'm going to pick one thread to focus on. Okay, I'm going to grab this one thread. And then I'm going to kind of just push down. I'm going to pull out this one thread. This looks like a snake skin. All right, so I'll pull out one thread, and then I want about 3 or 4 threads. So I'm just going to pull that out. This braided linen thread has, I think, 9 threads. So let's try doing it with 3. That way we'll have a nice even number left over. We'll have 3 and 3 if I want to tie some more. So then I'll take these and I will line them up. And one more. Okay. And then I'm going to just take this and tie it around. And my center is going to be right over top of my greeting right here. So I'll just kind of get my knot in the right spot, do a little, my first part of my knot. Okay. And just kind of get this set up so it's in the right spot. And then I'll take my tweezers and I'll just tweeze right on top of that knot. And now I can take my time and tie that second part of the knot. And then let that go. And there is my little piece. And then I can trim this off a little bit. Okay, so now I want to add this sunflower right here, and I want the leaves on here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just kind of going to arrange everything how I want it. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to take my dimensionals, get rid of that and that, and just lift off my sunflower. And I'm going to take 4 dimensionals and just put them near the center of the sunflower like that. And then I will remove the little backings. And then angle this the way I want it again. And oops, that looks pretty good. And then I will take my Tombow, and because I left enough room, the dimensionals are here, I'm going to be able to glue these in and tuck them under my sunflower. And I still have time to arrange them. And then take that one, oops, and scoot it under there. And this one, do it under there. Okay. And then I'm going to take some gilded gems. Aren't these pretty? And grab my tit tool. And I'm just going to add a few of these gems on here. And let's put one down here. And here. There's 3 different sizes of these. This one's really stuck. Or my putty is needing to be advanced. There we go. And then right there. And that is how I created that card. So I love blue backgrounds with yellow sunflowers. I think they just really, really pop. So I always love that look with the sunflowers. And that's all I did. That was the card. Ta-da! Let me pop back over here. What do you think? Do you have the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle yet? I love it. Just playing with it a little bit. There's a lot of different options, and there's so many pretty samples out there on Pinterest. So it's definitely a good one to get if you need samples for it. There's a lot out there. Now, we have this sketch, right? And we have this group called Casing Tuesday. And you can join in and post your cards on the group. And the link to that group is down below. And today I have to go in. I have about 30 people pending that I need to go in and just make sure they're real people and add them to our group. I will do that later today. And if you want to join, please click below to ask to join our group. And then you can post your card if you want to, or you can look at all the other cards that people have posted and use them for inspiration. It is amazing each week to see how everyone takes that card, the sketch, the ideas from that card, and turns it into something else. And I just love seeing that, the finished results on there, and seeing what everyone comes with. And we have so many people contributing now, and I just love to see that. If you love the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle, we are in July right now, and if you spend $50 with Stampin' Up right now, you get a $5 coupon that you can use August 4th to August 31st. That promotion lasts until the end of July. So if you need supplies, click on over to my blog. The link is down below in the description of this video. And there is a supply list for this particular card. Or if you're looking for something else, you can link through to my store for my blog, or there's a direct link to my store just down below. So I'm just going to have a quick little look and read some comments. Amy says she loves the 3 separate ways you showed how to use the stamp set and dies. Lots of options, and you're absolutely right. There are lots of options, and there are lots more. Like for this die cut sunflower right here, I did it in a dark background, but you could use a tone on tone look. Like you could maybe use a lighter yellow for the background, and then use Bumblebee or Crushed Curry cardstock for the detail. So, or you could use like Mango Melody on top just to give it a pop. So if you did that, then your center is also going to be that same color, the yellow or the orange. So you could run through the Big Shot again, a separate piece that you're just going to use for the center, and you're going to trim off all the petals. Or you could also use Stampin' Blends and color in the center on that orange cardstock, because that brown will definitely seep in to the cardstock and give it more color. So there's different options for this, but it's nice in this bundle. We've got many different options for the sunflowers. They're just so beautiful. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you have a great week. I will be back on Friday with either, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do a fun fold card or if I'm going to do a 3D project, but look for me on Friday on YouTube. And I will hope to see you then. Have a great week until then. Bye bye.